This is your time to relax. During this video, you have no tasks, no responsibilities. The only thing for you to do is to calm down. Take some deep breaths and join me on this lovely, sometimes beautiful, sometimes interesting, sometimes a bit philosophical, but always wholesome, cozy, and chill little adventure. Kick back, perhaps grab a cup of your favorite beverage, and let's enjoy this episode together. Shall we? So, welcome once again. I hope you are doing well, friends. I hope you like that new little intro that I recorded, just as a bit of variation on the beginning of the video. You already know the intro that I've been using so far. I thought we could make something new here. As I said, we are going to explore that ravine a little further. Hey there, rabbit, that we found last time, and have a look if we can find that abandoned mine shaft that we also stumbled upon. So, oops, apologies, I did not watch my step over there. Let's get out of this hole. Oh, I love these colors. That's beautiful, vivid green, isn't it? So, that ravine was past the sheep. Uh-oh. Okay. It seems like they're good friends. I thought, yes, I thought there might be a bit of natural conflict going on over there, but it seems the fox isn't very hungry, or the sheep is very intimidating. So, this is the ravine, and this is where we climbed down last time. Let's get back to the bottom of this and look around for some more iron, more coal for sure, for which we can use this fortune enchanted golden pickaxe, and possibly some more treasure that is of which I'm unaware just yet. Of course, if you find any interesting decoration elements, that's going to be a prospect for us as well. There, now we can... Oh yes, that's okay. Now we can climb back up. So, this week I've been looking at mobile phones. I would like to purchase a new one, and that would enable me to create some real-life videos. And I've been thinking, what kind of role plays, what kind of videos would be the most interesting? That is, well, I hope I'm not disappointing anyone with this, but role plays that are not gaming related. They're just going to feature me and my voice and maybe some props. But I was thinking, something I find very fascinating is color analysis. I believe I might have mentioned this briefly last time about this, the fat cells underneath our skin, and how there's a whole mini science. Oops, that's some weird lighting. There's a whole mini science branch that's built on this, and what kind of colors look the best, and how to dress properly for different seasons, and even people are classified within seasons. It's quite fascinating, so I would like to do a video where I analyze your colors and we come up with a little selection of what would work the best for you. And it's just a lot of personal attention type of relaxing content. Maybe I wouldn't say it's something that only the ladies would enjoy, even though it's a little bit fashion related. Obviously there's lots of men who like taking fashion seriously, but I don't even think it's that serious of a topic. It's just something that anyone could really enjoy. No, I see some redstone. That's interesting. If nothing else, we can mark our way out. So yes, the idea of color analysis roleplay ASMR videos is something entertaining once I get my hands on a new phone, and of course then I have to set up the microphone properly, and I have to do a couple of things to make sure that we all get the best possible experience out of this. Now, we successfully reached the bottom of this. Well, another bottom. I suppose there's a few. So let's look around for any resources that are... Oh, I like those colors as well. So let's look around for any resources that might be interesting for us. What is this? This is cobble deep slate. Okay, we are that deep already. Let's get that redstone. That's definitely interesting. If we're planning to do any more construction with clay in the future, we'll definitely get a lot of that as well. So yeah, maybe I might have gotten a bit too deep into this color analysis topic, but the idea is that it's personal attention, it's something interesting, and anyone could enjoy it. And then one more thing that I was considering, or I am considering, is a roleplay of a personal trainer. Exercise is something I happen to know a lot about, so it would be, how do I say it, credible, right, for me to create something like this. And you know, we could go over some exercise methods, maybe some motivation, you know, some relaxation at the beginning, and then a bit of motivation to get you started on that journey, or maybe to help you continue on that journey if you've already started. Well, if you've already started, I'm sure there's a couple of viewers on this channel who are much more experienced even in exercise than I am. I've seen some viewers and I've seen some comments who are much more experienced in creating videos than I am, so I really shouldn't assume I know anything, right? I should be humble. We are finding a decent amount of iron deposits in here, so this is going to be very helpful. Last time we mined some, but we also used a fair amount of that for decoration and for creating our kitchen area. So it's time to top up our iron storage. Oh yes, I need to use the fortune pickaxe for the coal to get a little bit more out of that, and that's going to go mostly into the kitchen smoker. And yeah, oh, some gold as well, very nice. This is quite, well, you could say a gold mine, but it's a mine for all sorts of lovely resources. Is it also gold? Yes, very nice. So yes, color analysis, and then maybe a bit of a personal trainer thing. Alright friends, we have just gotten very lucky. Thank you very much for sticking with me for this journey, because it seems we have struck diamond, and that's definitely something I feel like we should celebrate this together, right? I wonder how, but if you were here right now, I would definitely open a bottle of champagne or something. Then of course, speaking of champagne, we could also do some review type of videos. Maybe go over, I have quite a few bottles of fine alcohols. I hope it's not a trigger for anyone. It could be, possibly. But just to go over some of those bottles, explain maybe what they're made of or why they're special. I'm not going to taste everything because that will be a very short video. I don't think I have a great tolerance when it comes to alcohol, but just going over, just looking at the bottles already, I think is quite interesting. I love how decorative and interesting the labels are even. So that's another option. We're going to leave some of that iron up there. It's a bit difficult to reach, and I think we have just so many directions to keep exploring. Plus I have to concentrate a little bit because I'm doing all this commentary and forgetting. Oh yes, see, you know what I forgot? I forgot to bring another pickaxe. I was under the impression that this hoe is one, but it's not. So now we can either make a stone pickaxe and continue mining with that. But look, I don't even have any wood for a crafting table. So we have to be smart here. Can we find that mine shaft that we briefly checked out last time, you think? Because then, oh, I see some more iron up there, that's great. That's a lot of iron, but also our pickaxe is very close to breaking. So we're just gonna mine some of it. That's enough. And we might come back later. Let me pick this up. And let's try to find that mine shaft, okay? I wonder if it was deeper or if we should climb back up a little bit and go find another branch. There's just more iron down there and a gaping hole, gaping dark abyss in the belly of the earth. I'm sorry, that's very scary for an ASMR video. Now, let's instead climb back up a little bit if we can find a way. And see if we can find that mine shaft. That's the same abyss or something very similar. As long as we keep climbing up, I think eventually we can find our way. It's quite a friendly layout of this cave, to be honest. You would think it's easy to get lost, but since everything connects to everything, yeah, I think that's where we can go back up. Everything connects to everything, it's actually fairly easy to find our way. There we haven't yet been, I believe. We can have a look this way. But it doesn't look like there's much going on. No mine shaft to be seen, no other resources. Let's see where else we could go. Is it possible that I was wrong and the abandoned mine shaft that we found was in the Hungarian video and there was no mine shaft at all in this one? Well, nonetheless, we can keep exploring and see. A little exploring never hurt anyone. Of course, in the worst cases, we can just go back up, get some sticks, smelt some iron, and create an iron pickaxe and continue mining. This episode is just about this. No huge construction projects, once again, just walking around, talking to each other, or, well, you listening to me talking, and some relaxing times, as we do, friends, as we do. So these are just loops, it seems. Let's find that exit and see if we can, if there's another branch that we haven't yet explored, because I think we're running out of options here. Scream if you see a mine shaft. That's the exit. And I seem to remember that we found a mine shaft close to this place. Is it possible that it was still further back out? That's probably the same cave system that we have just been in. So what about this way? There's nothing here. There's some coal here and some clay, but I think this is going to be another dead end. We can get the coal though. That's a different pickaxe. And actually this is a bit faster even than the iron one. It's only the fact that it's very fragile and brittle. But at least we have some nice, very nice amounts of coal to walk back home with. And that was that. Alright. 61 pieces of coal. I'm very satisfied with that. Okay. And I think, yes, this leads us out to daylight. No worries, friends. Let's climb back up and go to the village. Craft another pickaxe and come right back into the mine shaft. Get right back into exploring. I could even edit this part out, but I simply don't like to do that. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's not like I'm trying to make myself look like some Minecraft professional. We're not shooting an action movie. We're just here to relax together, so a little bit of dead ends, a little bit of loops. Well, I wouldn't even call it wasted time. But even if you want to label it that, it's fine. It's acceptable. Thank you. So there's the village. Let me but take a sip of coffee. I was serious at the beginning about getting some of your favorite beverage, because I always do. I don't think there's ever been a video in which I didn't have a cup of coffee next to me. Well, maybe in the summer. In some cases I went for water instead, but... Alright. Now, we're not trying to steal anything. As you remember, my principle is, if we take anything from a village, we should give something back in return. And I usually, even in the Hungarian video, there's some iron ingots. We usually build something for the villagers, and then in exchange we can take this stuff. Now, we're not going to build anything right now, but we're going to leave 3 pieces of gold and just take 3 pieces of iron, and that's all fine then. Oops. Now, do we have any crafting tables lying around, or should I just cut down a tree and make one really quickly? I think that might just be what we do. Hope it doesn't fall into that hole. The sticks did, but that's okay, we've got plenty of those. Now we have the crafting table. And now we have that iron pick. Crafting table can stay here for the villagers, and we can get back into our exploring and our adventuring and our ravine, and possibly that mine shaft if it exists, or maybe it just does so. It just does in my imagination, but well, if you can find that ravine, that is. Alright. Actually, we found a marsh or swamp instead. We've been to a similar area, but I believe this is a different one. Look at this, a moonlit frozen swamp. Ain't that something interesting? I think this deserves a special moment. What do you think, peeps? Peeps and friends, look at all these beautiful, I think, lilies and trillium flowers. We should just sit here a little bit and listen to the ambience. It's interesting that there's snow, but you're still not cold. That reminds me of a hiking trip I've been on. It was a very interesting one, a very difficult one, a very educative one. In general, I enjoyed it tremendously. This is the ravine, we just found it from the other side. We could make some ladders as well, right? Except there's no straight wall, but we can, I think we can do this. Yes, perfect. So let's get back into the mining. I'm sorry, let's get back to mining. In general, I can speak English. It's just when I'm concentrating on the video, sometimes these mishaps, these linguistic mishaps, tend to take place. So, on that one hiking trip, it was in an area where there was snow, but I was walking so much, and I have been walking for a very long time, and my body sort of completely got used to the fact that I'm walking and I'm not going to stop. And even though it was very, very cold, and there was definitely a lot of snow around me, my body made peace with that fact, and I wasn't cold at all. Of course, this is not something that's sustainable, and I definitely needed the recovery after, but it was an interesting experience, and it was interesting to see what the body can do to protect itself or to achieve a goal. Let's not go that deep yet. There was a lot of other stuff here that we could mine. I wanted to check around the lava. Oh look, another hole. We have to watch our step. There's so many nooks and crannies in this cave. It's our ankles probably wouldn't like walking around here in real life. So I wanted to check in this lava area if there's anything for us for a curious cave explorer. Well, there's another drop, that's for certain. And another tunnel leading to yet another drop with some lava falls and gold. This part almost looks like the Nether, doesn't it? This is a huge cave system. We could spend exploring, we could spend hours exploring this, or days even. And I'm talking about real life days, not just Minecraft days. Let's dig through here and see what we can find in this area. There's some more iron. Well, if the villagers have any affinity to buy iron from us, we might get rich doing this. Get lots of emeralds in exchange, which of course then we can spend on other things. Back to the topic of real life videos, or even games that was suggested in the poll that I published some time ago. Let me know if you've got any suggestions about what game titles should we try together, or what kind of real life roleplay videos, or maybe not even roleplay, just real life videos we should create together. Indeed, it doesn't have to be a roleplay. We can just sit and chill together. Maybe I could do some drawing. Maybe we could go to a cafe. I could set up the camera with a tripod, and we could just review their newest slice of cake, or some interesting brand of coffee or brew. That could be a nice little video as well. We found lapis lazuli. This is a very profitable little mining trip, I should say. Some more iron, of course. What I said about being able to find my way surprisingly easily in this cave system got me thinking, is it not often the same way in real life? You get into a seemingly difficult situation, and that was also iron. I thought it was maybe something dropped by a mob. We're getting a little bit hungry, so let's snack on some of these glowberries that we found on the way. But we can of course always pick more. It is the explorer's food, you could say. So is it not very similar in real life sometimes? You get into a difficult situation and, well, maybe you don't suffer from this problem, but I know I have. You can immediately list 10 different reasons how it could be worse, or maybe why a potential situation could go south. Maybe the situation itself is just indifferent in the first place, but you think, oh yes, this is how it could be, this is how I could mess it up. Or you already think that another person will act in a negative way towards you or with you. Well, there's some more lapis lazuli. Should we adventure out there and get it? And you worry so much about those possibilities that you fail to consider that there's just as many ways the situation can go very well. Yes, you can mess it up. You can mess up the exam, the job interview, the date, but you can also ace it. All three of those. You can also, well, you can have sort of a middle way outcome, right? So many people, this is what I often tell myself. This is what I told myself before I got my driver's license. It's what I told myself before I did the exam, which takes place at the end of high school here. Just about anyone and everyone can do it. I can't be the one to fail. Or even if I am, even those people who failed one time, they could continue. They could stand up, dust themselves off, have a go at it again. It really cannot possibly be that difficult. And then you get there, and it's difficult, but you still manage. And if you don't manage, and you think it's the end of the world, you still end up standing up. You still end up dusting yourself off and recovering. Being able to have another attempt. I feel like I can't explain it with the depth that I have in my brain. But I suppose the gist of it is that consider how many ways it can go right. Yeah, always consider that. Now, let's get this lapis lazuli, and then soon enough I think we can find our way out of this cave and head home. Smelt some of this ore that we found. Take a bit of a rest, because I mean mining is hard work, right? I was thinking yesterday about Minecraft while I was running. I went for a run, which is definitely not my strong suit. I ran about 4 kilometers. I have friends who tell me they run, I don't know, 10, 20. I have a colleague who runs marathons, which I believe is around 40 something kilometers. But you know, even half of that, even a quarter of that is crazy. And I was thinking about how much our character in this game runs around. It's unlimited sprint as long as you can eat, basically. Our character in this game must be very, very strong in the calves, because today standing up and walking around is a huge challenge for me. Yeah, you get a bit of soreness. You get a bit of soreness after the run, but don't you also get a bit of soreness after the job interview if it doesn't go well, or the date? But the same way, your muscles mend those micro injuries, which are the reason they are sore in the first place. You can also mend those micro injuries, and guess what? That's how the muscle gets stronger. That's also how you get stronger. Mentally, emotionally. That's how you learn some new skills, some lessons for later. Analogies are interesting. And what's also very interesting for me is how many analogies you can make involving the functions of the body, like muscles or recovery. I suppose in general the human body and nature are fascinating. This cave is also fascinating. It's absolutely beautiful. I love these lush caves. When I saw this update that they were planning to bring it into Minecraft, I was very happy. And friends, they turn out beautiful. However, now we have plenty of all these resources. So let's try, some more lapis lazuli. I am easily sidetracked, but let's try finding our way back out, wherever that might be. On the note of nature being fascinating, I read about a couple of very interesting, well, I suppose just facts of nature the other day that I quite liked. One of them was the Venus flytrap, a plant that grabs and eats insects. Basically, oh, some more iron. I'm not going to say it knows or it understands, but it does seem very much like that. That the plant seems to know or understand. Oops, that's not what I meant to put it. That the pollinating insects should not be eaten, because otherwise the plant cannot reproduce. So what it does is it grows its flowers far away from the part of the flower that can eat insects. And of course you can reason this with evolution in general. That's how it works. That is what natural selection is all about. But I just find it fascinating that there are so many things in nature that seem like they are conscious decisions. And of course, the plant doesn't understand that it shouldn't eat those insects. The plant doesn't understand that it cannot control itself not to eat those insects. The plant just evolves. But to be honest, that raises the question if nature in its entirety can be compared to something conscious, right? And this is also very philosophical, forgive me. But it is incredibly fascinating. Now, this doesn't look like our way out, so let's try to find another direction to go. Another interesting thing I read about was another insect, or well, an insect, because the Venus flytrap is a plant. But an insect that jumps, and it jumps, it makes a big jump. Obviously, mussels are not capable of producing the power that it needs to jump so suddenly and so far. Now, yes, this is where we dug ourselves through, because this insect can generate power equal to 500 times the force of gravity, which is absolutely incredible. So mussels are not capable of doing that, no matter how much muscle you grow. It also has a mass, and it cannot proportionally exert the amounts of force needed to deal with its own mass. So what this insect does is it has sort of Velcro-like fibers, or I'm not sure if they can be called fibers, but Velcro-like tissue on its body and its legs. And it basically, if you want to imagine a human doing it, it squats down and it sticks its own butt to its own legs. Then it starts pushing, but because of that tissue. Sorry, still looking for a way out. But because of that tissue, it's stuck together, so the force that it's exerting is built up. When that Velcro tissue finally lets go because the force is too great, all that built up force is exerted at once, and this little bug friend of ours can jump a huge distance. Now, if that's not fascinating, I don't know what is. I know that it would be much easier for me to find a way out if I wasn't so invested in talking about these things. But I am. So please, give me a little chance to find my way out, and then we can continue. Okay, friends, success. We find a way out. It's even daytime. Somehow I like leaving the mine or the ravine or the cave and seeing that it's daylight outside. I think it's, first of all, beautiful, and second, it's a nice feeling. So let's go home and allow me to continue the ramble, because I have another insect that's very interesting. I wonder how accurate the research is on this one, but the idea is that it catches its prey, running it down, charging at it really, really quickly. But, well, it's an insect, and you can only fit so many things and so many effective things into such a tiny body. So its brain is a little bit slow for itself. I'm not sure if you can call it a brain actually, but the idea is that every once in a while, after it's ran some distance, it has to stop, look around, understand where it's at, and possibly set a new direction to run to catch the prey. I love this because it reminds me of the classical first boss in the video game that charges at you, and then while it's standing still because it hit its head in the wall or something, you can deal damage to it. Is it not very similar to that? So it runs at the prey, but it has to stop and think before it changes directions. And of course it can't really change directions midway. It's quite curious, this idea of sacrificing control and vision and understanding of the environment for a temporary boost in hunting efficiency. Now, thank you for listening to this nature documentary with Froghead. We are now home, and that means we can smelt all of these metals in our blast and other furnaces. So let's start with the iron and the gold. All those bricks have been fired as well. Let us store them here. In the meantime, I'm going to put some coal in this stove or smoker above. Well, above the basement, of course. This stove doesn't really need anything. This is just a heat source, and we can use this cooking pot on top to make the advanced recipes. And then you usually need bowls or perhaps glass bottles as well to store that food. Let's store the rest of the stuff that we just found. First of all, let's make these a bit more compact. So to make some lapis lazuli blocks, and we can even make some raw copper blocks, why not? I have some more copper over here, so we're going to make blocks out of those as well, so that they are stored more easily. We have some gold over here. We're going to put the lapis lazuli here as well, and some cobble deep slate. That should be around, yeah, these inorganic stone rock materials. Some diorite also here, some more clay. Let's try to keep it a bit organized, or a bit more organized. And then I have some wood we can put here. I have this redstone. I suppose this can go with the rest of the colored ores and stones, but indeed let's make blocks out of this one as well. That's quite a beautiful block, isn't it? Looks like maybe some ruby or something. We can possibly use it for flooring later if we build something very fancy. Let's put that here. And I have some natural stuff. Did we put this to... Let's see if I have any decorations left over. Oh yes, this is all the natural things. There. And these flower boxes or flower beds, we can actually place them outside. As you remember, we took them off the ground. They were out here where the chimney is right now, and as much as I love the chimney, well, it did take some space away from the flower boxes, so let's see where else we could put it. Well, you know, even though not many people are going to be looking at the house from the lake, why not fence this up and have these flower boxes here? And put this fern instead, maybe. Let's find a lovely place for this fern. Oh, you know what else we're missing? We're missing vines. However, those should... I don't think they will look very nice on these logs, because they are kind of round. Well, not round, but as you can see, the basic block would be within that outline, and there's some protrusions from that outline, but the vines would be fitting on that flat surface, so they would be hidden by these protrusions. So the logs look better, but we can't really put vines on them. Let's put that fern here, why not? Garden is still doing well. Our friend Nestor is still doing well. I was thinking what we could do is bring good old Nestor maybe somewhere around here. Build her a nice little pen. Bring the boat that she loves so much. Also build a pond for her. And just maybe bring another goose or two, with whom I'm sure they're lovely, good acquaintances, so they can prosper together. That might be a project for the next video. Let's see how those metals are coming along. Alright, gold is done. Let's continue with the rest of the iron. Oh yes, this is a blast furnace. It's very quick. Now we've got plenty of iron. I like seeing that. Excellent. Oh yes, of course the diamond also comes here. Nice. That spruce cone can go with the rest of the seeds. And well, that's about everything. Or maybe the wool can be... we can put the wool here. Excellent. Well, friends, today's video of adventuring around, digging out the treasures from the depths of the belly of the earth, that adventure is done now. So I thank you very much for joining this video. I think we've done a great job. Let me take off this wolf head looking hat so I can... Yes, that looks a bit better. So thank you very much for joining me on this adventure. It's been an honor. Once again, please, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like or something to show your appreciation. I can tell you in advance that I appreciate all the comments and likes very much. So, I will respond to every comment, but in case you doubt it, I love you for leaving that. Have a lovely rest of the day, or evening, or night, whatever it is where you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and goodbye.